Got the bottom of the door cleaned up, dressed up a little bit, and we're going to tack this piece back in here. It may be temporary, but we're going to get it back in here just so we got something to work off of to put the sheet metal over top of it. Let's do that now. Just enough to tack it in place there. Now I think we're going to cut this piece out. Lines on there for the brake. I'm going to break that up. Get this piece pretty close. It's set on here. There'll be some trimming out here so the bolts can slide back. This bolt here. Same here. This is going to slide back in there. Fills in the cap of this door nicely. But I think at this point you need to attach this in here a little tighter. So we're going to weld on that now. Run some bead down through the edge of this, and maybe a little under here where it's going to be hidden, or I'm not going to say hidden, where it's going to be covered up. I won't be able to get to it later, so let's do a little welding here real quick. Trim right here. A little more. There we go. There we go. Flush that up, put a little burn on it. Lost her ground. They're tight. Do some more welding on this. Clean this up. Sort of cut this hole out here for the tongue of the hinge to slide in. Let's see how that works out. Got you guys awful close. Right there, something like that. Put a few more tack welds on this thing, and then I feel more confident about it. We got to trim these back out. I know that has to happen, but I'd like to get this a little more secured to the inner structure. This actually was pulled out. We need to clamp that in. And of course, these for vice grips don't have them, or you got them all out there. too much, just needs to be pulled in a fuzz. The edge of the door is flush. Maybe a little more. A little more. Maybe just a little more. Yeah, I like that. Let's put a tack on top of here. Keep that in place. It's in nice and tight up here, so we'll go ahead and tack it up here. A few to keep a little structure. Anytime I'm where I can get back to it, I'm not going too deep in case I got to cut this thing back apart, because I make mistakes. Put a couple more of these. That way if I hang the door in there, it's not going to go anywhere. Just enough structure if we want to bolt the hinge in it. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep on anything that I can get back to, so I'm going to have to cut it out. Ran a couple of bolts in here. Just check this out. Make sure nothing's bindy, nothing flexing, nothing doing weird stuff. Always double check before you go too far. You're going to bite you in the butt. That gives me clearance inside here where this will set in the door. Got plenty of adjustment in and out. I look good in my slots here. Like I said, I do got to bring this one back and this one back so I can get in there, but that'll give me plenty coming out in the middle of my slots. So you got ½ inch in, ½ inch out. We get all the structure in there. Then we just take the door, hang it in there, put the skin in the right place, and then build to this tree to the structure of the car, it has to work. You've got in and out. Most critical thing you got is the height. You need to get the height right, because you don't have any way to really adjust the height a lot. So that's how I've done it in the past. I've already done the other side. I might have told you that, but we're just replicating now on this side. So we're going to have some swinging doors. Got this end of the door roughed in. I've got a template here for the other end. We're going to cut a piece of sheet metal for this and start roughing it in. So let's do this now, or that now. Use whatever sheet metal you got. Try to get this up here. Let's see. That'll hold it down a little bit better. Plenty long at the bottom. This is the bottom of the door down here where I'm at now. Always go long. Left that a little bigger. Way to make sure I got enough material there. That fills an old hinge divot here. Okay, let's trim and cut. Okay, let's see if we can cut this piece of sheet metal out here. Okay, we got our brake on the end of this door. We're going to set it over here. Let's move you guys around so you can get a better visual on this. So we got her sitting in place here. And again, she is plenty long right now. I need to get, she's actually high right there. Need to get this dialed in. Cut the rest of this door out here. Make some marks. Do some trimming on the door. And we'll do some trimming on this tab. Like I said, I left that big. Got a little devoid there where the old hinges went in there. And then the bottom of this gets cut off. And then I'll leave a little edge there to tack this onto. Try to get it set in there pretty flush. That'll give us room for a latch right here. And yeah, let's do some marking out and do some trimming out. Gonna cut her down, leave a little tail on there so we can just reattach to that pinch weld. Tad bit of trim in there. Clean that up. Like I said, this is long. We'll cut her off. So I made a little template off the quarter panel of the car with some brake here. And I can make sure that's following on out. So I'll clamp that on there and I'll continue to build that on down. So when I had tacked this in here, just got it held in place. Template here I had up here. This is going to follow on through. I need to make some brake metal put behind this. Form that outer lip. That'll come around and stick out. Then my skin will fold around it. But this is long. Definitely long out here, and it'll eventually be cut down. But I want to hang the door in the cavity there. I did hang it in there when you guys weren't on the camera there. Let's get you off here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I stuck it in the hole there, clamped it up. And I've got a little interference here with some bracing. So I'm going to take this rod back off of here and trim this down just a little bit. When I did the other side, I ended up having to trim that down a little bit and trim this off a little bit. So I knew there was a possibility of that. That's again why I just put stuff together as I need to. So a lot of this stuff is just tacked together with a couple of tack welds. Anything that's covered up here is already welded, but everything else is just tacked together. Always just tack it together, so when you got to go back and take something apart, you don't have to cut everything apart. Like I said, I've already got this one done, and it's been hanging in there, so I got something to go off of. Let's get that tore apart and go from there. Thought I could pop that off there, and the weld is on the other side. I can't get to it. Yeah, it's just one tack on there. Let me get the striking tool. And I'm going to try to, I don't know if I can trim that off while it's on there. Dang it. I'm going to have to take this tree off of the hinges. Stay tuned. Let's trim the top of this post down a little bit for a little more clearance. So we got this brace that comes down here, and need to keep as much of that structure as I can. I'll probably trim a little corner out and then reinforce that. That's kind of what I did on the other side. It's too dark to see over there, but and then this hinge tree is going to come in here. That's why I trimmed that top down just a little bit. Like I said, I set the door in there last night late. I couldn't quite get the height I needed, but I'll probably end up bolting that on there, bolting the hinge tree back on there, set the door in there, and see if that'll give me enough height. So then I'll bring you guys back in from this side, show you where we're at there. Got the tree bolted back to the hinges here with our trimmed off edge. So now what we're going to try to do is hang that door in the opening and see if we've got enough clearance there, or where we need to work on that brace to make some clearance for this top corner. I think we'll have enough, but let's try it out. Stick this up in there. Close. Got a little gap up here, so probably have to do a little more trimming over there. Let's go inside and see what we got. Not bad. I think we'll just have to trim just a fuzz of that corner out of there. I'll mark that. Yeah, let's trim this up just a little bit right here. Probably notch that out just a fuzz. Might even just about cut that skin off of there, and that'll get us up our extra 1/4 of an inch to get this door up and where she goes. So let's pop it back out and trim that up, and we'll try again. I'm gonna make a cut up vertical and one horizontal here. See if we can't get just a notch out of that. I will probably lay a piece of angle iron in here to reinforce that. Everything's been cut, but everything needs to be reinforced. Chunk out of the way. That might be enough. The only way to know. Only one way to know. Set the door back in here again. I'll leave you guys right there. And I'll set the door back in. I think we got it. Come around there. Check it out with y'all. Ample room. Appears to have ample room. Yeah, I went overkill there, but got room there, so we need to start tying this hinge tree in, even temporarily. Check all our door fit. Just tie that in so we can swing the door on it. But yeah, I think we're up high enough. It's as far up as it can go there, so we're up at the top. So like I said, we got enough room. We can hang a door, attach the door hinge tree, I call it. Let's stop and investigate, check everything out closely, think it over a little bit, and then I'll be back with you. That fits in the opening pretty well. I double check a few things. I knew this would be a little wild up here, but my gap's a little wide there. I think when I bring that forward, like I said, we'll tack everything first, bolt the door in, make sure we can get the alignment we want, and if we get everything tacked in there and everything looks good, we'll continue to build the bottom of the door, the bottom of the fender, the bottom of the gap behind the fender to the door jamb, and we'll build a running board all fixed in place. So let's continue forward. Before we can go any further on the bottom of that other door, we'd like to shape this piece of pipe to match this running board that I've done on the other side. It's got this nice silhouette here, comes in on the back here. It's got a nice sweeping curve to follow the door around, and it's got a little bit of a dip in here, and then flows right into the fender. So I'm going to try to match this piece of pipe like I did this one. We'll flip it over and use it on the driver's side. See if we can get that done. Got it looking pretty good. This flattens out to go behind the fender there. This sweetheart dip through here goes in real nice. Now we need to do this long sweeping bend through here to make it match the contour of that running board right there. Let's carry on. Making good progress. Looking pretty good right through here. We might have to bend this just a little bit more right there in that concave. Got a nice sweep going on around there, following the edge of that other running board right on around. Now we got to turn that end back out a little bit. It's a little more gradual sweep up there. Follow that edge of that running board, but we're making progress. It's really close. It's hard to tell at this angle, but when I hold it up there against it, I've lost a little right here, right through here, as I bent the other. I'm just doing this over my knee, so yeah. It's hard to get a visual on it. Follows along pretty good. So yeah, just need a little more tweaking, and we'll get her where we want and flip it over and go to the other side, reattach. It's hard to tell with the sliding over here, but that's really close. Probably close enough for a side to side. Let's take her around and clamp her on the other side and see what it looks like over there. Got a couple of trim clips poking through there. This pipe needs to sit in behind there, so we got to trim those off real quick. front side up in there. Let's go back here. See if this back side will snap up in there. Now, if I remember correctly, probably have to tweak that and make sure it's on a level plane or level with the bottom of the car and everything. But I think I use that as a guide when I get it level. I hang the door in there and make sure she fits out all right. But I think I'm gonna just shove that door back in the tractor, clamp it back in place, just take an eyeball at it. Trim the bottom of that. Door frame off of there. A couple inches anyway. Or I can set that back in there. Damn it! Let me trim the bottom of the back of the door off there. Let's see if we can get her in a hole now. Never cut off too much. All right. Okay, there's plenty long yet. Better to go slow and not cut it too short too quick. Let's take a break. Not too bad. It's hard to tell. This door's hanging out a little bit at the bottom. But I think what we'll do is next After we take a break, we're going to attach that hinge in there so we can swing that door. Then we can start trimming off the bottom of that door in there and start going up ever so slightly, a little bit at a time, so we don't get her cut off too short. But yeah, we're going to have a running board. I'm going to tag this little support in here. Then we'll tack this little vertical in here. I think we're all right. See if we can goober up a weld up here, at least enough to hold it in place. Okay, this seems pretty solid. I think we're gonna have to cut off the bottom back here in the back, but we'll see if that'll hold it up in place, what we got. The bottom of our running board right here looks pretty good. We're gonna cut the bottom of this door, runs in behind there. We built that everything long. So we're going to mark that. Cut that off in there. Then we should be able to swing this door open. Matter of fact, we'll probably swing it open to get this cut. See what we can do. Door has no structure in it. It's a little floppy, sagging a little bit. But we're in the ballpark. I don't know whose ballpark, but we're in that ballpark.